so that India becomes an attractive destination for investment. You also had the public sector banks reforms, not only just infusing some equity, but also making sure that they become professionally managed, although they are public sector banks, and performing well, but still they needed to have more professionalism. So that was also, and giving independence for them, because that's an area in which I would take extreme pride to say, between 14 until today, you wouldn't have had one phone call going to any one of the banks saying, give this loan to my cousin or my whoever. No cronyism has been developed through the banks. Direct taxation reforms, Revenue Secretary is here. Most unexpected time, the country saw that a drastic step had been taken, drastic but in a favorable sense. Power sector reforms. Udai was a scheme which was brought in with a great sense of wanting to clean up that sector. It has its challenges, but it was a daring reform. Coal sector, and also water and irrigation. There are many such I can list, but Prime Minister Modi has been absolutely consistent in making sure reforms are taken up. So structural reforms are the focus of today's announcements. Today's announcements are focusing on structural reforms. The sectors in which these measures will be impacting are those sectors with these reforms which are going to be the new horizon for growth. And therefore, we see great potential in more investments which can be drawn with the reforms that we are announcing today. More production can be clearly marked, and certainly it will lead to a lot more employment possibilities. We can actually start off with some preliminary slides before I go into talking about today's announcements, which will explain all the steps that we've taken in the recent past to make sure that investment come into this country and also make India a far more business-friendly destination. Before I go into that, it is important for us to recall that steps which have been taken earlier have been announced variously at different times. And because of the lockdown and because of COVID, I think time feels like as though it's been a long time since the budget was presented. It was only presented on 1st February. And just as soon as the finance bill got passed, the Parliament also had to very quickly close for the reasons of social distancing and so on. And just before February, we announced the National Infrastructure Investment Foundation, the fund that was launched. So, and therefore such steps have been taken. Clearly, these are the ones which are going to initiate a lot of things that we want to tell today, and also a lot of things that we want to do towards building an Atma-Nirbhar Bharat. So if we can go to the first slide. The policy reforms to fast-track investments. In the last couple of months, an empowered group of secretaries has been formed who also looked at project development, and project development cells were formed in various ministries. Ranking of states on investment attractiveness is also being worked out. This will make them compete for new investments, and promotion of champion sectors such as the solar PV manufacturing and so on, the advanced cell battery storage research. These kind of activities are also being given a priority. So for an Atma-Nirbhar Bharat and for Make in India, such steps are crucial, and we want to make sure that efforts which have been taken clearly give us the confidence that Make in India, which was launched at least 3 years back, as an initiative to change the mindset of people, to bring in new ways of doing business, to make sure that India becomes attractive on its strength are all being received very well. So today, if I look at Make in India for Atmanirbhar Bharat, the foundation was laid earlier, and many investors have found that India's market, size of India's market, the aspirational middle class, the rule of